Buongiorno and welcome to Ugliest Johnny's magical mystery tour of madness with the random events that can happen. I am damn sure I've got someone living at the bottom of this garden that's just trying to pick me off. You know what I mean? Because messing around with my water levels, up and down water, or down while I'm on holiday, then it stays still, and then now it's doing what it's doing, and I get round to that in another episode. But last night, sat there, had a little bit of time to myself, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, so it's pitch black, pissing down rain, and the electric goes off. Boom, I'm like, oh God. So I isolate which flip switch it's going to, and it's the pond. Naturally, that puts me straight, firmly, randomly into the doghouse. So it's pissing down with rain. The only thing I've got to keep this area remotely dry is that sunshine brolly, sunshine brolly that keeps you in the shade. It keeps some water off, but it does let a little bit through, which isn't perfect. Definitely not ideal. Wish I'd built my office. I still want to build my office, and this will be indoors eventually, but things take time. Anyway, I digress. So I did the investigating, and I found out it was the plug that was knocking the electrics off was the main pump, so the Nexus here, and it's the first pump there on the side with the variance, the variance switch, or the control panel, or whatever you call that thing that sticks on the wall that controls it. It's a control panel, isn't it? That's my own question there. I have a little look at things, and the first thing, because this has happened once before and this was my fault, which it always is my fault, I didn't tighten let me whip my head out of the way of letting water. Last night this one tripped it all off. Come outside, this was soaking wet. I had no idea why. These have been out here for a long time, why all of a sudden this would happen. It wasn't loose or anything, but it was letting in water. No, but I've dried this one out anyway, because I noticed it was all wet. And the other one seemed to be alright. Has anyone else had a problem with these before? Do I need to put them? Obviously, I'd rather these be inside, because my intent is to build a garden office here. But, like I say, they've been outside for 3 or 4 years, however long I've had the pond. And I've never had a problem. I had one problem, and that's because I didn't tighten it up. But these have been tight, so I'm going to have to come up with some idea to make this work. Oh, and one quick thing is, I am open to suggestions in the comment section, how you protect yours, or any suggestions that how I can do that. I'm actually thinking that I might build a little shelf going over the top to stop the water. I'm also thinking about tying them up. I'm also thinking about masking tape on them. So whatever you think is the best way. Obviously, I'm not going to build a home office right now to protect it through the winter, but whatever suggestions there, drop them in the comments, because I love them. Thank you. This one was the cause of the issues last night. So anyway, I dried it all out with this wonderful brolly that I've got here, keeping me as dry as I possibly could be in the pitch black, in the pouring rain. So I dried it all out. Really, looking back on it, because it's winter, the fish aren't in any danger. For 12 hours I should have just waited for sunrise, but it's Ugliest Johnny. I like to make things as hard as possible for myself. So I dried it out, got it going again, everything was fine. Started up the electrics, so it started working for 2 hours, for about 2 hours, to the best of my knowledge, because I played FIFA for a little bit longer, and then I went to bed. Then I woke up in the morning and it's tripped out again, and I'm like, oh my God. And I can only think I haven't done a great job, because it was dark, it was raining, the umbrella was there, and whatever else I'd done, not the greatest job. So you know what, don't worry about it, Johnny, I'll go and fix it in a minute. Get my bog roll out, get everything set up, rain stopped, dry it out properly. I hung them upside down so the water could drain out of any fragments that was in there. So I left it for a couple of hours, but belting. I come back, and in this time I put the air back on to the pond, because I just wanted the air going into the water to oxygenate the water. I know it's winter and there's a reduced risk of that, but I just wanted some type of movement in the pond water and the air back on. So the air was currently on. So then I started to plug things in, and boom, yeah, that's fine. And then randomly, check this out, I plugged that one in and have the same issue. I mean, I haven't moved, tightened or adjusted those particular, the control panel connections. I haven't messed around with them in like 2 years, 3 years, and then randomly from both to go at the same time makes me believe that I've got some like garden wizard or garden joker that just comes out and loosens me nuts. No, but seriously, how bad is that? I mean, random is that, because it's been all summer. It's not like not rained all summer. So then and I'm not making this up either, it's just got what? Let me show you now. So now this one's up and running, connected, dry. which I'm actually going to put this video out as soon as I can. And if you've got some ideas, like, I don't know, I'm not going to do mad DIY skills, but I might tape it up with masking tape, not masking tape, some type of waterproof tape on there, or hook it underneath, or I can't think of anything. I can't understand why all of a sudden the water would get in there like that. It just doesn't make sense. I've not moved them, no one's moved them. So then obviously this one now, because that one messed up and then it was this one's turn, within 48 hours both of them have defaulted in this way. You can see there because I've not dried it off, and I'm not in a rush to either. It's wet there and it'll be a little bit wet in there. Okay, so I'll be drying them out. So you can see, how annoying is that, or random is that? I'm not sure where the wife's creeping out here. That just crossed my mind. Does she really hate the pond that much? No, she doesn't really hate the pond. Is she playing jokes, something like that? But how could both of them independently just start leaking at this within the last 24 hours? It has baffled me beyond belief. That and the water dropping out, not dropping out, staying in. I've got some crazy little issues happening at the minute, and some with the pond. At the minute, I'm not in a rush because, like I said, I've got the main pump up and running from the bottom drain into the big nexus and back in through the high return. So the water's all turning itself over. It is winter, so I'm not in desperate need. I do turn off my UV light, and that is now, well, I turned it off last night, really, because I unplugged it, and now I've not plugged it back in. So in relation to the second pump there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to work for the day. No, I'm going to dry it out now as much as I can, hang it upside down, make sure all the residue's gone, as much as possible has gone, and then I'll reconnect it, but I'm not going to plug it back in because I'm not going to run that system. I'll plug it in for a minute just to make sure everything's working with it, but then I'm going to unplug it because I'm not going to run that system, this system, the skimmer, down and across into UV light and up there into the Tempest and back in through the low return. I am not going to run that system during the winter, and the reason why I'm not going to do it is obviously there's a reduction in waste from the fish. The UV light I don't use, I didn't use last winter, and obviously saving electric, that helps. Saving electric on the pump, I don't think it's necessary. The fish are entering torpor season, which is like, for people that don't really know, it's like a hibernation for fish. Obviously they can't hibernate properly and go completely to sleep because A, they've got no eyelids, and B is they're in water. So I don't know what that would look like. Does any fish hibernate in water, like go completely to sleep? Or is it like their sixth senses that they can sleep? Well, I don't know. Anyway, I digress. They're in torpor season, so they're not going to be consuming as much other than the odd bit of wheat germ. So I don't need that system running. But the one time I will kick it up, that system, which is why I need to make sure it does work on demand, is if the temperature gets really, really cold like it did last year, where we're susceptible to freezing, which is when I wrap everything in bubble wrap to prevent it getting onto the pipes as much. But I will need a flow through there, because if I leave still water, there's an increased chance that it will just freeze in those small 1.5 inch pipes, expand, and everything up there. So yeah, that is the only time I'm going to turn the second pump on, unless I'm otherwise dramatically educated by somebody that's watching this video. So now I've got that off my chest, you can feel my pace and my energy with this particular issue is mind boggled and sort of, but now I spoke to you guys, I'm feeling a lot better. In relation to in fact, I'll just get back to you next week in relation to the water, but we've not found a conclusion to it in short, but some of your suggestions, especially around the skimmer, is a very, very good one. So this is Koi Fish John here with another mind-boggling conundrum that's affecting me this winter. I honestly don't know how that's happened other than a human coming round and loosening my nuts.